This is TWiT.
Did Mark Zuckerberg fight in the UFC show? I don't.
He should have.
So, Saturday, I don't know what happened. I'm hoping somebody subscribed to this. UFC closed its fight card at the Apex, a facility it owns in Vegas, to the press and the public. They wouldn't say initially who did it, but an MMA insider, Ariel Helwani, said a very good close to the event had told him it's something to do with Mark Zuckerberg. Speculation is Mark's renting out the event, maybe just so they could watch. Maybe they could record it for the metaverse. Maybe Mark's going to get into the octagon. I don't know. Wouldn't put it past him.
Well, the event already happened.
Yeah, so I'm asking, what happened?
It was just Mark Zuckerberg. It seemed like it was Mark Zuckerberg and his group
and his
of pals
cronies
watching,
smoking those
fight.
meats.
And there's this amazing reaction gif of his wife Priscilla, just kind of losing her mind as the fight goes on. But I think the more telling thing is that there were all the UFC fighters who were talking about how awful it was that the entire fight could be bought out by one person. And I think that's spot on. And I don't know what Mark Zuckerberg
you got
was
enough
trying
money.
to do there.
What can't you buy?
Yeah, of course. But just the optics, the act itself, I find like fairly wrong. And sports is a game for the people. I just I can't really see any justification for wanting to buy the entire seating and then leave the public out of it. If you want to go watch a fight, but don't buy it out. Has anyone else ever done? I've never seen.
How much do you think it cost to buy out the octagon?
I don't know. I guess you could probably do it for $1 million. They make most of their money on the cable fees.
The streams. Yeah.
Pay-per-view.
Pay-per-view.
I mean, it's like getting Kanye to play or your corporate event or your kid's bat mitzvah or quinceañera or something. It's just such an oligarch move. It really is.
Yeah, it's awful.
Although, I was told that when the Sultan of Brunei visited Disneyland, he had 13 tour guides and the vice president of operations with a retinue of over 100 people and a flying wedge ahead of them. And they just went from ride to ride, clearing parts of Disneyland as they went, which is hilarious.
It's a
Those
military
tour guides
maneuver.
are like 10 grand a day.
You know what? It'd be worth it not to have to get in line. That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Best deal at Disneyland.
You see every once in a while, you see videos on Insta and TikTok of celebrities getting ushered to the front of the line. You just have to, it's good business.
I did like how David Beckham waited the full, 16 hours?
He waited for the Queen. God bless him. Yeah.
God bless him.
10 hours. I think a number of celebrities actually got in line for that. That's respectful. Right. I like that.
That is respectful.
William Gibson once told me that he feels like he has just the right amount of fame.
What is the right amount of fame?
People enjoy his work and they tell him so. He can earn a living from it, but it's not like he can't eat dinner in a restaurant.
Right.
I once, Penn Jillette was visiting London and we went out for lunch and got interrupted 3 times.
It's no fun.
And Penn is a moderately famous person, but we were eating at a restaurant in London. It's not like Penn and Teller are really well known in the UK. And nevertheless, he couldn't get through a 40-minute meal without being interrupted 3 times. So, I feel like there's probably there's definitely a threshold where the fame gets pretty toxic.
Steve Martin once told me that he knew it was over for him as a real person when he attempted to ride the subway. This was many, many years ago, to go see a show in Brooklyn or the Queens or somewhere. And he said, I can't ride. I can't do it. And I've been to dinner with him. He rents, basically, you take over a private room. You don't eat in public. And you're still harassed by the chef. Maitre d'.
Leo, how do you talk about this relationship you have with Steve?
Oh, it's well known. I've told people about this before. He used to listen to my radio show. I don't think he does anymore. And he DM'd me about 10 years ago saying, you don't have to respond to this, but I really like your radio show. And I said, yeah, I'm not going to respond, Steve Martin. Who cares? No, I responded and kind of struck up a friendship.
That's awesome.
Friendship, yeah, and. He's the only person who's that famous that I've ever spent time with. And it really, he can eat. I bet now he can't, now that Murders in the Building's big. I bet you it's actually gotten worse for him again. But he very famously stopped doing stadium comedy because he said, it's not it's not a show anymore. It's it's like the zoo. It's like, he talks about it in Born Standing Up in his book. I think he really didn't like that level of fame, but once you get there, you can't. There's no turning back. Here's Mark, by the way, practicing, and apparently this is his sparring partner, made his debut in the octagon, and maybe that's why he bought it out.
Yeah, well, he could just buy a ticket to it. I'm not.
He could just buy one ticket, I guess.
Ridiculous.
But
Leo, can I just say? Sorry, go ahead.
If you're Mark Zuckerberg, you don't want to be harassed the whole fight. Maybe you need that flying wedge of cronies and
I think
entourage.
that, yeah. He should just. You want to go watch sports? Go suck it up and go watch it in person with the people.
I mean, it's not like they don't have booths, right? Like they have sky booths, bleachers,
sexy,
like whatever,
private booths. Yeah.
I mean,
a champagne room.
This is the solved problem, right? Like this is like a famously solved problem, right? Of sports stadiums having VIPs who want to sit in a fancy booth,
wear a mustache, a hat, just a little disguise, and
just
you can
rent out the private room.
Yeah,
that exists. I don't know if it exists at this UFC thing, but
I mean, who says yes? That's a good idea. It's just
again.
You're getting bad advice if you think that's a good idea to do this.
Maybe not a good idea for Mark, but remember, this is also the guy who on the 4th of July last year posted a picture of him wearing sunscreen, holding the American flag on a motorized foil.
Leo, that I have less of a problem with. You want to go make an idiot out of yourself in the ocean, by all means, people do it every day.
I remember when he posted this that we had somebody on who said, you don't, if you're Mark Zuckerberg, you have a phalanx of PR professionals guiding you, protecting your image at all times. How did that get past them?
I'm saying. Like no one goes, hey, you might look a little out of touch if you end up, buying out the whole UFC game. And I love the fact that all the UFC fighters called, BS on it, because deservedly so. Now okay, no problem with that. If you want to go hold a flag, make an idiot of yourself in the ocean, like have at it. There's a big ocean, but there's only limited seats in the UFC.
People were offended by this, though. I do remember they were very offended. I'm not sure why.
Well, people are offended, Leo. People are offended by everything.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's true. It's not dignified. It's not dignified. Maybe that's all that's wrong with that.
Look, is it something I would do? No.
No.
Whatever.